Chef Josh Johnson and Chef Joe and I, we've all been back in the kitchen prepping just a little bit for the demos this week, and it has been a blast. The great thing. Oh, yeah, and the nice thing too is that so many people get a skewed version of what a chef is from TV, because honestly, if I'm gonna watch two chefs like getting along in a kitchen, that is not fun for me. No, I want dishes broken, I need tears. You need all of that, right? Like, who wants to watch like us being like, yeah, why don't we help each other? Really, that's for children. As a grown adult, I need some drama. And so working with them has just been really great because TV gives you a skewed version of how chefs act and how they are in a kitchen. We all have our moments for sure, but they're fleeting and they're quick, and we just love getting together and collaborating. And just as you kind of obviously are here, there's some familiar faces, some new faces. As you continue to do this, I think that's the wonderful thing about food, is it's a way for us to bring our personalities, our passion into everyday society, which I think is really, really beautiful. As Joe mentioned, the pastry chef for Dobla, I've had a really fun career, kind of got to be all over the place, spent some time in Asia, spent some time in Europe, but I've been with Dobla for about 2 years. My background is fine dining, so I'm used to those, really, really tricky fine dining situations where the anxiety is high, and I absolutely loved it. So now working for a manufacturing company is a little bit different because I have nights and weekends off. For the 2 years since I've been with Dobla, they were the first 2 years I made this many pies for Thanksgiving. It was fantastic. Normally it's this many with 3 zeros. And so just doing 2 was really, really lovely. Christmas morning happened and I was like, I don't feel like I have 2 broken legs. I'm loving this day. So it's been a change, but Dobla is a global manufacturer of chocolate decoration pieces. Typically we are only a wholesale distributor, so we sell to distributors that will then put our products on either ready to make or ready to be sold products, or sometimes it'll be to bakeries or hotels. With those, who entered the Dobla category this year? So for the winners of the Dobla category, you get a really great chance to, for the first, second, and third place winners, you will actually get a gift certificate where you get to just purchase, if you will, just items right from the Dobla website, which typically your average baker doesn't get to do. So that's one of the things with Dobla. We're working on a little bit of retail here and there, but it's obviously something we want to get right. We don't want to be like, oh, we're going to give you version 2.0 and then 7.9. We're just going to do it right. So we're taking our time with that and making sure it fits. But I've really loved working in this industry. So today we're going to talk about kind of making sure your identity is seen in the decoration of the pie. Josh did such a beautiful job working with Guittard's really lovely chocolates, talking about how to make sure your flavors aren't too much. Don't go too hard. Don't take every technical aspect you know and throw it in a pie. One of the best pies we tasted over the last couple days, 3 simple elements, very simple crust, 1 really true flavor in the filling, 1 really nicely done chantilly on top, and a little bit of crumble. We ate the whole thing and it was incredible. There were pies that sometimes overdid it. And there's a simplicity, but also a complexity to pies at the same time. So we're gonna start with oh geez, my face is gigantic. Oh, I should have had somebody do like a lipstick check. If I look weird, be like, turn to the side, you're skinnier that way. All right, if you'll focus in on this. Sorry, I had a PowerPoint ready, but it just didn't happen, so we're doing it old school. So I'll show you this. So I'm gonna show you some pictures. I did not paint them. But all of the photos that I'm going to show you are with artists born in the same time period, in kind of the same place, all European, born within like 10 to 15 years of each other, okay? And as you look through the styles, we might hate them, we might like them, that's not the point. The point is to look at their style. Oh geez, let's see if I can get my fat hand out of the way. No, don't focus back on me. No. I need the camera on this just for like 5 seconds. Okay, so here's slide 1. We're going to use this tool here. Okay, so this is Degas. He does a really beautiful job of movement, and there's a wispiness to it. There's an ethereal quality, and you can feel it. You can almost hear the crowd clapping, right? Here is Monet. Monet is stunning. Up close, not so much. Really beautiful still, but when you back away, that's when you can really experience the beauty of his works. Renoir, are you kidding me? Could you do more with hats and a face than that guy? Good gosh, he is incredible. And the background, like, you're not seeing anything here, but it pulls you in, doesn't it? Even if it's not your style, you're in there. Seurat, so fantastic, lots of little tiny, tiny dots, and the people are really structured, almost geometric. All right, so as you go, that was a harsh transition, sorry, let's give you, I couldn't remember which artist I stopped with, I'm like, and pie. So as you go through these artists, I chose this because we all have the same medium. How many colors did they have in the 1800s as they were working? They had probably 1 or 2 types of canvases. They had just a few colors, and there weren't Amazons upon Amazons creating brushes. They only had so many tools to work with. As a pie master, which is what you all are, whose first time is it this year? Is anybody a first timer? Good, so fantastic, because you're gonna come up and help in a minute, you two, get ready. Yes! Oh, you thought it was just for fun? Never. So one of the interesting things is as you do this, you all have the same tools. How many of you used a rolling pin? How many of you used flour? Eggs, milk, butter, sugar, it's all the same thing. So when it comes to pie, can we have this back on? Can you focus on my computer again? Will you focus on the computer? Okay, so as we have pie, this is what we have. What are the essentials of pie? You got the crust. It's flaky, it's crumbly, sometimes it's baked, sometimes it's just pressed. You may have done something else I didn't list, good for you. Then what do you have? You have your filling. Sometimes it's cream-based, sometimes it's fruit-based, sometimes it's baked, sometimes it's smooth, sometimes there's inclusions, sometimes it's chunky and you didn't mean it to be chunky. Who's ever done that? I have. And then you've got your topping. Sometimes you don't do anything to it. Sometimes you do a whip, sometimes there's a double crust, sometimes there's a streusel. There's so many things you can do with it. But these are the basics, do you agree? Everybody's got the same basics, so I'm gonna show you just a little bit. We're done now. I'm done now. You can go back to this. He's like, I hate this day. All the others were so easy, and then this girl showed up. So we're gonna go ahead, and I'm just gonna show you a pie that I did for the others. And it's really important to know when enough is enough, okay? So here's a 4th of July pie. Right now it's pretty good, right? Pretty simple, has some fun colors, okay? It's a triple berry pie. All right, so as a pie artisan, let's make sure all the berries are showing. I put some chocolate on it already, so that was good. Okay, could still be okay, right? Right? Well, I love stripes. Like half of my closet is stripes. Legitimately. They don't make me look skinnier, and I don't care. I just really like stripes. They make me look like an ex-con, and I'm okay with that. So, you know, let's add some stripes into our pie. Okay, then these jumbo curls that Dobla does, they're really beautiful. So I'm gonna put some of these on my pie, right? This is gonna be great. It's gonna blow the judges' minds. They're gonna be wowed. I'm loving this day. Gold is really awesome. Gold speaks to me, right? And now we're done. Somebody get me a blue ribbon. Okay? So this is really important as you're making your pies and as you continue to do any dessert or any meal in life. What's most important to me, I think, is to know what your look is. So we're gonna go over some different looks, but as we go over those looks, it's to know when enough is enough. There's some of those cakes you see in the grocery stores that have like a drip and stuff exploding out of them. There's a time and a place for those, and they're really great. But then there's something just about a crust that's perfectly done on a pie, and that's enough. So because I work for Dobla, I'm going to show you not just plain pies, but I'm gonna show you that this more doesn't always mean more. More doesn't always mean more. So we're gonna talk about how to put your identity onto your pie with a couple different twists. So we're gonna do a little bit more of a fun, kind of light and airy one with daisies and some color. Then we're gonna do a very flank royal, here we go. back up. Frank Lloyd Wright-esque pie. Boyfriend of the month, that's his favorite architecture dude, so he's getting a pie. And then we're gonna go ahead and do one that I feel looks like me a little bit, and then kind of a country pie. But for the people that have had this as their first year, they're gonna go ahead and come up, and they're each gonna get to take half of a pie, and they're gonna use as much Dobla as they want to create their identity on a pie. They've never worked with Dobla, they've never had fun with it. I've got some things you can use, some toppings you can use, so come up and play. Don't worry, you'll be standing next to me, you can hear it. Get up here, let's do it. Let's see, this one was for the berry, that one is for me. Can we give them a hand? He's like, this is horrible. Come on around here. You're good to go. Tell us your name.
Steve Smith.
This is Steve Smith. What's your name?
Brenda Byrne.
We got Steve and Brenda. All right, so you've got the pie here.
Okay.
You've got some piping bags here. You've got some Dobla. Knock yourselves out. Don't watch them, watch me. That's your pie, so you guys have to make it work for you three, apparently. Do it. You can each have You each get a third. You each get a third. Make it work. So we'll start first with kind of the country pie. You've got a really beautiful triple berry pie with a double crust. So you're wondering, what can I do, right? Hey, you're really loud. Can you? Shh. It is my talking turn. You're just in the space because I'm nice like that. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here, these are just some of Dobla's cups. And who's ever seen a chocolate cup before? Okay, a chocolate cup. Okay, so chocolate cups are really great, but typically they just have simple things in them. They've got some mousse, you get it at like a brunch, and it's just that, right? Super simple. There's not much to do with it. Well, I think you should be able to put it on a pie. I really do. Let me grab some gloves now that I've already touched everything, right? Okay, now I'll glove up. Now that I've touched all the surfaces. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna create kind of like a look that looks like a bucket kind of dumping out the berries. Because if I'm creating that country feel, when I see berries, I don't like to do much with them. I want them to look rustic, kind of gnarly. 2 raspberries, they never have the same color. I don't know if you can see this or not, but they never have the same color. They never have the same shape, and they're really beautiful just as they are. I'm not messing with that, but I'm just giving kind of a fun way to use them. I'm gonna borrow this. Okay, so I'm just gonna add just a little bit of whipped topping. I don't want the whipped topping to be the focus on this. I want it to be the berries. So I'm just gonna lay out kind of the flow that I want my berries to take. So if you can see, I've just added just a line kind of diagonal across the pie. I don't always like to fill the pie. My personality is I like to see just a little bit of the pieces on it. But we're just gonna go ahead and stack 2 cups kind of on top of each other, like this, okay? And that's just gonna kind of create a starting cascade. Then I'm just gonna organically place the berries. And this is super simple, but it's a fun way to give the pie another element without overdoing it too much. Another thing that's really beautiful about berries is I love it when you cut into a berry. Do I have a knife somewhere? I did. Wait for it. Do you guys see a green knife over there? I'm taking this one. Just don't worry. Don't run with knives. Okay, so I really like it when you cut into berries because you can see the seeds. And when it comes to things like fruit, I don't think you can really, really overdo it too much with fruit, right? I think you're pretty safe to add a little bit more onto it. I mean, who hates fruit in a pie? I mean, don't raise your hand. We'll hate you, but no, we won't. So you want to make sure, I like it when I'm decorating to make sure that the elements within the pie are also on top. Not all the time, but most of the time. I kind of like that. All right. So we'll just kind of go like this. And that's probably all I would do to this pie. Just leave it kind of simple. Let the berries kind of cascade and fall down on it. And that's it. Don't add more to it. Don't add a bunch of stripes. Don't add a bunch of curls. If you wanted to add just a little bit of something, you could maybe. but at the same time, it's taking away from it. So for this guy, I'd probably just call it a day. What do you think?
I like it.
Just call it a day. Well, oh, are we clapping after every pie? I should have made 50. All right, so now I'm just gonna show you this cute little daisy pie. This is out of the shot, right? Good, I'm just gonna put the stuff over here. So for the daisy pie, I like a little bit of color, and so I've been playing around a little bit with whipped toppings that have a color added to them, because you don't see that very often. Filling always has color, but this is just a whipped topping that has a little bit of a natural yellow to it. And so I've just put a star tip in it. I've added a white border. It's just a key lime pie. Not just, it's a key lime pie. It's a key lime pie. And I think that summer to me looks, whenever I use a piping tip, I always want to make sure it matches the feeling. Summer for me isn't a round tip. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say a round tip? Summer to me is a lot of lines, a lot of fun, a lot of texture. That's what summer is to me. It's sun, it's beach, it's like sand that makes its way into your car even though you didn't go to the beach. That's what summer is. So for this guy, we're just gonna add some fun little daisies just to the top. We're not gonna go crazy. We're just gonna add some colored whipped topping to the pie, okay? Not a lot. I'm just adding just a tiny, tiny bit for color. Then what I'm gonna do is I've got these super cute daisies that Dobla does. And I love these daisies. They're big, but they're kind of cartoony and playful. And I'm not gonna put daisies around the whole thing, a daisy chain situation. That could be cute, but I'd pick a much smaller daisy. For this, it's kind of big. So I just wanna make it an accent because I really think that if you're remaining true to the identity of whatever you are on your pie, if you're like my mother, you are loud, everyone in the neighborhood knows you, that pie is gonna have a lot of stuff on it, but it'll be amazing every time. If you're a little bit quieter, don't do something that's not true to you. That's what I think. You can still, of course, but keep it simple. Then we're just gonna maybe add just a little tiny bit of gold to it. So Dobla has some fun gold pieces that we do. And I think gold is kind of summery and sunny. So we're gonna throw these guys on there. Okay, and I would just probably make this the top of my pie. So in the previous one, the 4th of July, before I completely botched it, it kind of had a trajectory going down the pie. This guy, I just wanna leave probably just up at the top. Okay, can we all see that? So super simple. I've added some color contrast with it. It has a little bit more natural color than the filling does, which is great. And it makes me want to, it gives it a different feeling, right? So if you have a really fun, bubbly personality, yeah, throw some daisies on it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Okay, and if you have any questions about Dobla or about pies, by all means, go ahead. So we're gonna do this next one. This is gonna be the Frank Lloyd Wright pie. The new boyfriend's name is Adam. So he's not watching, but hi, Adam. He told me he loved me after 3 weeks. Am I freaking out? No. Did we look at houses and maybe pick out rings? Yes. Did I tell my mother? No. She'll find out when I say yes. Whatever. Did I meet him on Bumble? Heck yes, I swiped right on that for days. Did I swipe right because he looked like my ex-boyfriend? Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so did I tell you this was uncensored and unplugged? It always is. So what I've done here is I want to make sure that Frank Lloyd Wright, does everybody know who Frank Lloyd Wright is? He's an architect of some really beautiful homes, really geometric lines. So if I'm a very geometric type of person and everything is just so, I'm OCD, which is one of my favorite characteristics in a person. Socks are done a certain way. Don't do a pie that doesn't look like you. Don't do a pie that's got like all these cute daisies and messy this. No, clean it up a little bit. So what I've done here is I've just gone ahead and I took an acetate band to attach my whipped topping to the top of my pie. And it just came out of the fridge, so let's see if this is good. You can set it in the freezer just for a few seconds to get it really crisp. So instead of a piped border on this, I'm just gonna have this, just a really flat top for this. You know, like, oh, I don't know, like Buzz in Home Alone, how he had that situation. You know what I'm talking about, that haircut? Okay, so I just gave the pie that type of haircut. One of the things I really like doing is giving pie textures as well. We talked about it a little bit yesterday as we worked with the industrial pie guys, is there's really fun cake tools. Are there some really fun pie tools? Cake tools usually come and then we use them on pies, right? Nobody invents something really just for pie. Cake always gets all the fun. Well, guess what, cake? Guess what, cake? This is just a really easy pie comb. Pie comb. It's got a lot of different edges on it. Okay, for whatever I want to do. You use it as a cake comb to give it a border. I'm going to use it to just go ahead and give this pie a little bit of life. Because Frank Lloyd Wright did a lot of really linear lines that are always really straight. Okay, so if you are like the new boyfriend Adam, whose closet is remarkably clean, he's like, can I come take a tour of your house? No, Adam, you can't. I live out of my car. Okay, so this is a really good base for the cake, okay? Straight lines, really clean, really simple. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some really finite elements and get some lines down there. And I'll use my chef tweezers because, you know, that makes me look professional. Okay, and with this, I'm gonna keep the colors really, really simple. I'm only using dark and my white base, and that's it. I'm not adding a lot of colors. I don't always think you need to add a lot of colors. Sometimes 1 or 2 colors is plenty. Plenty. Okay, super simple. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add some lines this way. And this doesn't take a lot of time, but the fun thing is how many of you have gone on Instagram for inspiration? How many of you have ever looked at a pie and gone, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I come up with that? Why didn't my pie look like that? Well, I guarantee you, after you were born, your mothers or your uncles or whoever was close to you didn't go like, oh, I really wish they would turned out like that kid. No, come on. They like you how you are. And that's the wonder, and I think that's the difficult thing, and I think Josh and Joe can maybe attest to this. I think there's one point in a chef's journey where they go, wait, I don't need to be like that. I'm good like this. If my pie is always a peaches and cream pie and that's all I'm ever gonna do, great, do it well, and move on. You don't have to bring in like yuzu and kumquats and like nut pastes. Nothing against that. That thing was delicious. I said it and I was like, I can't take it back. So sorry. And he's standing right next to my boss. Oh man, fail. But that's the thing, is you want to make sure that you're just staying true to you, because what you do is phenomenal. I looked back at so many of those pies and so many of them are so different. How many of you would love to judge a pie that looked the same and tasted the same? You want 27 of those? Josh and I had the privilege with Joe to go ahead and judge one of the pie competitions, or one of the pie categories yesterday, and there were 15 pies. Did any of them look even remotely similar? No. Did any of them taste similar? No. Did we wish we didn't have to taste some of them? Did you see? Annie turned red. Thanks, Josh. No, but the thing is you could tell that they were different and people were putting thought into it and really going into it. And that's kind of the key, is find out who you are, find your lane, and stay in it. There's movement within your lane, but don't change and do a lot of stuff. Develop you and call it a day, because you is gonna be really, really awesome. I'm gonna call those two on the spot because I had the chance to have Chris and Paul. You guys wanna say hi? Do you guys all know, is it Christopher? Okay. Well, Chris and Paul stopped by the factory in Atlanta. If any of you are in Atlanta, please get my information and stop on by, even if you're just coming through for a couple days. They came and they did a wonderful tour of our facility, and we talked. They have totally different personalities. They enter the same category sometimes, but their pies look different. And I don't know, do you live in the same house? I don't know. I think so, right? Okay, I don't know how that works. It's none of my business. But even within then, they don't have that issue of we're both competing, we're both doing the same thing, let's make our pies the same. No, make them different, make them you, okay? So if I did this pie, I'm calling it a day. I'm leaving it really simple. Where's the guy? Okay, well, it looks like this. He's like, she is the worst, okay? So I'm probably just gonna do that. I might add just a little bit of, do you see how there's too much negative space right there? Okay, but it's like a really clean sock drawer, right? Super simple, super precise, super clean. We're just gonna leave it like that and call it a day. It's really geometric, really straight lines, really, oh, that's gonna be hideous. I hate that so much right now. Let's just do this, and we're gonna scoot you over. There we go, that looks better. Okay. So do you see what I did here? Really simple, really different. If this matched your personality, so I just out of curiosity, who's got this as a personality? Who's got this? Raise them high, let's see it. Bubbly, fun, that's the one you always want at the party, right? Who's got this one? Who's got this type of a personality? Okay, I'm a little bit like this. That's the one where you get in their car and you're like, I think it get detailed daily. I still have Christmas decorations rolling around back there, and I don't even celebrate Christmas some days. Okay, so there's that. You guys want to see what you did? Come on up, let's do this. Let's take a pause from me and let's look at them. Okay, so they've never used Dobla before. Verlina, come in and tell us what you did, which side was yours, and why you did what you did.
The daisies and the outline in green.
Okay.
My personality is I like things in order, uniformity. Nice. Like that. So,
That's great.
So that's how I am.
And you didn't use any whipped topping or buttercream?
No.
Awesome. And I love that because do you see the glaze comes through the pie?
Yes.
Really awesome. Really awesome. Well done. Thank you so much for letting me call you on the spot. Give her a hand. Come on up. Tell us which corner was yours.
This is my corner, and I like I'm kind of all over the place, but a little bit of everything and a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And it's great, right? And can you see that just from the way she's like standing here in the shirt she's wearing and the way she's like, yeah, I get that. Good for you. Thank you.
Mine's the kind of simple style. If I had the whole pie, I might have made just 2 dollops, but just to celebrate, a little bit of glitter, not a lot, and a couple chocolate to make it add a little color.
I love it. Thank you so much. So, now let's see if I can like weasel this mic back so I don't have like mic cords everywhere. So that's the cool thing about chocolate decorations, just like pie flavors. If you're doing the same pie flavor, I mean, how many of you entered a fruit category? Okay, a fruit category. Okay, so if you did like apple or strawberry or cherry, I can guarantee you all of them taste a little different. It's the same thing with Dobla chocolate decorations and any chocolate decoration for that matter. Getting to use it, 3 different people can take it and do 3 totally different things for it that are true to them, and that's really, really awesome. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. So now how are we on time? You get up here and it's like a vortex. What do I got? I got 2 minutes? 10. Oh, 10. Huh. I'm taking 20 because how many extra minutes did Josh get? You guys are not getting lunch today. No, we'll just do this last one so you can go ahead and get some lunch. So this is going to be what I would be if I were a pie, okay? I know. Get ready as like chocolate curls spray into the auditorium. Yeah, and if you guys want to come up and get off your chairs and like come around and look and see the stuff while I'm doing the demo, by all means. Like, you looked like you were all pretty content. Normally I make people get up, but so if you want to see any of the stuff going on right now. Get up here. I don't have any space issues. Okay, so this guy, I'm just going to kind of mess it up a little bit. Okay. My grandmother was an artist for Vogue magazine, and I told myself I'd never become an artist. Not my jam, not my thing. See, it's not scary. Thank you. See, guys, it's not bad. Get up here. And then I went ahead and went to school for microbiology. I've got a wicked smart brain, let me tell you. Like, I think the ACT and the SAT guys called just to shake my hand after I finished the tests. That's how good my score was. Super humble, too, which is nice. No, but I've got a really great science brain, and science makes sense to me. So when I decided to leave the whole medical school idea and not become a surgeon, it was a really interesting decision. I just knew I wouldn't be happy. And then pastry found me, which was incredible. And every day, I am so thankful that my career and my passion happen to be the same thing. I think it's a very rare privilege that chefs have to get to do this every day. I find I'm just overcome sometimes by how grateful I am that the food world did what it did with me. You know, you take this little thing, and through people that I've worked with and mentors, I went to the French pastry school, which was phenomenal, same school that Josh went to, and same school that he taught at. And then I had the chance to work for really beautiful, beautiful chefs. And in my job, they did just wonderful things, really wonderful things. Probably my best pastry memory, and I don't know if I shared this story last year, probably my best pastry memory is I was in pastry school, and I said, hey, my mom's coming into town to one of my professors, and I said, is there any way you can recommend a place for us to go for desserts? And Sebastian Cannon, who's an MOF, which means he's the Meilleur Ouvrier de France, which is the best of the best in France. It's a very expensive competition, very elite. He put in a call to one of his chef friends, and I showed up to the Park Hyatt in Chicago with my mother, who happens to be my best friend. Don't tell Adam. And we went and just had lunch. And as lunch was about to be finished, 10 waiters lined up. He had called in extra wait staff. The chef was on his day off. The chef showed up anyway. And in like jeans and a t-shirt, he said, I heard you were coming in, and I'm gonna go ahead and make dessert for you. I've come and I've plated all the desserts for this season. And then luckily, we were testing all of next season's desserts. I'm doing these for you as well. So, as a 27-year-old career changer who went from the potential of making millions as a genius surgeon to somebody who's like, I'm gonna be making $7 an hour for the rest of my life, to having this beautiful experience as they just came by, one by one with perfect plates. And at that moment, I knew that I'd made the right choice because I had one bite and it transformed me. The chef's name was Andres Laura. He was not much older than me, very good at what he does. He's remained a friend of mine, which is really phenomenal. And that's one of the great things about finding what you love. So you could do that in medicine, you could do that in teaching, you could do that anywhere. But what brings us together with this pie situation is that we all kind of share this same madness. And do some of you like really eat, breathe, sleep pie and desserts? Like even if it's not your paycheck, right? Yeah, and so if that's you, then I think you owe it to yourself to make sure that you're always true to you, and it doesn't matter. Some of you may look at the pie that I'm doing for you that I think is me, that feels like me, and you may be like, oh, hashtag garbage, hashtag fail. And there's nothing wrong with that, because for me, I like a little wild, I like a little crazy, I like a little organized chaos, being a creative mind. To some of you, as you're in it, you're like, oh good gosh, I've been doing this pie for 12 hours, and it doesn't even feel like that. Have you gotten into the vortex of cooking? Has that hit you? Right? Please nod your heads. Please tell me I'm not the only one that does this. And then you get into it and you realize it's your own brand of crazy, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's really, really beautiful. Quite frequently, my job is nice enough that I told them, I said, I can guarantee that I will always work more than the allotted hours I should, but I can never guarantee that I am going to show up at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm gonna come in at 4, I'm gonna come in at 5. If my brain wakes me up at 2 a.m., I'm going into work, let's have some fun. And so that's kind of what I've done, and it's been really nice because I get to do that creatively. All right, so if I were a pie, yes, question, go for it.
I'd like to see how you slice that up.
How I slice what up? This pie? That's not this demo. Actually, the great thing about this is Joe has offered to slice all of these pies. So, you know, when it's over, just find Chef Joe and he'll be good to go. So, if I were a pie, I would probably be like this. Little bit of mess, a little bit of glitter. There's a few really refined parts, but it takes some time to get to know those parts. What you see first is a bit of chaos, a little bit of a disaster. But then, as you look at the whole piece, this is what I would look like. So as you work with your flavors, don't always go for what is trending, necessarily. That's not always the best. Trends are amazing, but if you hate passion fruit, don't do a passion fruit pie because your soul won't be in it. So work with what you know, work with what you're good at, but don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to do something a little bit different just because you've never seen it. Luckily, I'm with a company that supports doing something different, like colored whip on a pie. That's not really normal, but they let me do it. Well, I don't know if they let me do it, I did it, but but that I think is really important. So as you do this, find that part, because that is what the judges see. They can feel your soul more than anything. So thank you so much for being a part of this demo. Thank you for competing.